He may not have had a win in any PGA tournament since he turned pro in 2018, but that doesn't make his career any less fantastic. 25-year-old Will Zalatoris has had an extremely impressive performance in the 2022 PGA Championship, where he was the 36-hole leader. Unfortunately, he narrowly missed the chance of getting his first ever championship win when Justin Thomas dominated a 3-hole playoff. Still, there's no doubt that he's one of the best rising stars in the golfing world, and he has a long career ahead of him. How much do you know about Will Zalatoris? Let's find out. Welcome to Golf Links. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel to get notifications on new video drops. Will Zalatoris is the only child of Richard and Catherine Zalatoris. He was born August 16, 1996 in San Francisco to his pilot father and athlete mother. Will decided to choose golf over following his father's footsteps. This impressive golfer, who now stands at 6 feet 2 inches, quickly developed the routine of playing golf as much as possible. Will won the Northern Trust Open Collegiate Showcase when he shot 67 at the Rivera Country Club, and this earned him the chance to play at his first ever PGA Tour event, the Northern Trust Open. Beating 13 other collegiate hopefuls was no easy feat. This amazing golfer had already been victorious at the Texas State Amateur Tournament, Trans-Miss Championship, and U.S. Junior Amateur Championship. Through a sponsor's exemption, Will Zalatoris finally earned a chance to play in the AT&T Byron Nelson in 2015, just like Jordan Spieth and Scottie Scheffler, who we focused on Golf Links. Check it out. He had been attending this event since he turned 9 and always waited at a special spot off the 18th hole to get autographs from some of his favorite players. However, what the 18-year-old teenager initially thought were butterflies in his belly at the thought of finally playing in this tournament turned out to be an inflamed appendix. Sadly, he had to make a call to withdraw from the tournament while making his recovery after an emergency appendectomy. Still, it wasn't an entirely bad experience for Will, as the tournament organizers accepted the exemption and he was allowed to make a start at 19. With this, the exceptional golfer was on his way to the second PGA Tour event of his career. In the 2018 US Open, the American golfer missed the cut but earned a spot through local qualifications. Despite going pro that year, he didn't play well enough to get past the first stage of the Korn Ferry Tour Q School. However, he earned a membership for the rest of the season when he was tied for 3rd place at the LeCom Health Challenge event. Will earned a full status for the 2020 season as he ended this at the 60th position. He finally won his first event at the TPC Colorado Championship. Thanks to that one-shot win, he made his way to the top of the Korn Ferry Tour points list and cemented his spot at the 2020 US Open. During the first round of the US Open, Will made a hole-in-one but finally finished in 6th place, tied with Dustin Johnson. Still, this was enough to line his pockets with more than $400,000 in winnings. Also, this signaled his promotion from the Korn Ferry Tour to the prestigious PGA Tour. Will Zalatoris went on to compete at the Corrales Punta Cana Resort and Club Championship and then the Bermuda Championship, which earned him a special temporary membership status. Meanwhile, you could say that fans really started to know Will Zalatoris at the 2021 Masters. Here was a 24-year-old competing with the best of the best at the Masters and was playing well enough to win the green jacket, even though he was playing at the Korn Ferry Tour just 6 months before. Despite not winning the event, he finished in solo 2nd place behind Hideki Matsuyama, which marked the end of another impressive performance at the golf course. Still, he earned his first $1 million payday as he became richer by $1,242,000. This also catapulted him to the 27th spot on the official World Golf Rankings, but this was only the tip of the iceberg in how Will would dominate at major championships. The American golfer moved on to his first career PGA Championship, where he ended the event tied for 8th place. Will was on his way to another impressive performance at the 2021 British Open after shooting an open round 69, but things didn't go as planned. He had to pull out of his debut after suffering an injury late in the first round. At the end of the 2021 season, Will Zalatoris clinched an award as the PGA Tour Rookie of the Year. He didn't even have a PGA Tour card yet. This exceptional golfer had yet another great performance at the 2022 Masters. It was such an impressive run as there were tons of speculations that he would finally win a major event. However, it was not to be, as he ended the event in a tie for 6th place. However, what really stood out for Will Zalatoris in his career may be a little more than his 2nd place finish at the 2021 Masters was finally getting to propose to his longtime girlfriend, Caitlin Sellers. He popped the question in April 2021, and now they're engaged to be married pretty soon. The couple met while they were still students at Wake Forest University. Caitlin was studying psychology at the time and later moved on to the University of Texas, where she earned her master's in marketing in 2019. Right now, the Texas native works as an analyst in a Texas-based company. So what's the connection between San Francisco-born Will Zalatoris and his fiancée, who's a Texas native? Well, Will may have been born in San Francisco, but he spent most of his life in Texas. He was 6 years old when his father decided to move his family to Texas. At the time, Richard Zalatoris had taken over a major mall renovation in Dallas that required him to fly out to 4 days a week for work. So, Will had to leave the California Golf Club, but the move to Texas turned out quite well. This was when he was playing with Scottie Scheffler and Jordan Spieth, both exceptional players on the PGA Tour. Iron sharpens iron, apparently. This relationship between the three goes back as far as their teenage years. They're separated by a few months in age, but found themselves competing together often as juniors. When Will qualified for the 2009 U.S. Amateur event as a 12-year-old, he ended up playing both Jordan and Scottie as a 13-year-old. He later won the 2014 U.S. Junior Amateur title. However, Will Zalatoris still has his California roots, and that means his loyalty is split between California and Dallas. Will is a huge fan of the San Francisco Giants in the MLB and the Golden State Warriors in the NBA. However, his heart goes to the Dallas Stars in the NHL and the Dallas Cowboys in the NFL. Will continues to acknowledge that both California and Dallas are his home. There's also another dimension to his upbringing. Despite his father being a pilot, Richard Zalatoris was also an exceptional golfer, and he had the opportunity to play Augusta National, a dream for any golfer. This was a major factor in Will's passion for golf, so you could say that he inherited his love for the sport from his father. However, that's not all that was passed down. Will is a huge foodie, and that's thanks to his father too. Will's perfect day involves a lot of food, especially ultra-thin pancakes in San Francisco. So how rich is Will Zalatoris? Well, this prolific American golfer has certainly done well enough for himself in the golfing scene. Right now, he's worth about $5 million. He owns himself a cozy home in Texas where he lives with his girlfriend. Will also has thriving sponsorship deals with Unisys, NTT Data, iCapital Network, Gillette, and Simmons Bank. Meanwhile, despite being an only child, Will Zalatoris has that one person that he refers to as his big brother, and that's Tony Romo, a former quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys. At the height of the pandemic, the two spent time playing at Carrollton's Maridoe Golf Club, where they're both members, and it may have contributed to his impressive performance in the last few seasons. Will Zalatoris not finishing at the top spot in the 2022 PGA Championship is definitely disappointing for the prolific golfer, but fans believe that it's only a matter of time before he clinches that much-needed major win.